In this video, I am teaching you how to play the song Waiting on the World to Change by John Mayer. This song is going to use 6 chords. The first chord you're going to need is a D major chord. So for this one, you're going to take your middle finger and go on the 2nd fret of the E string. Your ring finger will go on the 3rd fret of the B string. And your pointer finger will go on the 2nd fret of the G string. You'll play the bottom 4 strings. The next chord you're going to need is a B minor. So for this one, you're going to bar the 2nd fret on the bottom 5 strings. Then you're going to take your middle finger. It's going to go on the 3rd fret of the B string. Your pinky finger will go on the 4th fret of the G string. And your middle finger will go on the 4th fret of the D string. And you play the bottom 5 strings. Another way you can play this, if you don't want to bar it, is take your pointer finger. It goes on the 2nd fret of the A string. Your middle finger will go on the 2nd fret of the G string. And your ring finger will go on the 2nd fret of the high E string, and again, play the bottom 5 strings. Next chord you're going to need is a G major chord. So this one you're going to take your pinky finger and go on the 3rd fret of the high E string. Your middle finger will go on the 2nd fret of the A string, and your ring finger will go on the 3rd fret of the low E string, and you'll play all 6 strings. Next chord you're going to need is an A major chord. So for this one, your pointer finger will go on the 2nd fret of the D string, middle finger will go on the 2nd fret of the G string, and your ring finger will go on the 2nd fret of the B string, and you'll play the bottom 5 strings. The next chord you're going to need is an E minor chord. So for this one, your pointer finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the A string, your ring finger will go on the 2nd fret of the G string, and you'll play all 6 strings. No, sorry, not G string, D string. The 2nd frets of A and D string. And the last chord you're going to need is an F major chord. So for this one, bar the whole 1st fret with your pointer finger. Your middle finger will then go on the 2nd fret of the D string, G string, not D, G string. Your pinky finger will go on the 3rd fret of the D string, and your ring finger will go on the 3rd fret of the A string, and you'll play all 6 strings. If you don't want to bar it, you can just play the first fret of the high E and B string, and then just play the bottom 5 strings at that point. And now the chord progression for the song is fairly repetitive. You're going to go D, B minor, G, D, A, B minor, G, D. And that's going to be the chord progression through almost the whole song. The only part where that changes is there's a couple lines in the chorus where you go D, E minor, B minor, D, A, B minor, G, D, back to that normal progression. So there's just 2 lines where instead of doing the D, B minor, G, D, you're going to do D, E minor, B minor, E minor. But other than that, you use the same chord progression through the whole song. As far as strum patterns go for the song, you can there's a good amount of freedom, but what I like to do is down, up, mute, then change, mute, down, up, mute, and then play, and then mute. So full speed will sound like this. Something like that. So on the first one, you go down, up, mute, change. You change almost immediately after you mute the strings. If you don't want to mute, that's okay too. It sounds like this. It doesn't have the same sort of syncopated feel it has when you do mute it. So I think it sounds a little more accurate to the original when you palm mute. But if you don't want to do that, it will sound okay without it as well. I hope you guys enjoy playing this song.